Here we go. Ready? Oh, who's better than me? Yeah. What's up, guys? It's looking pretty good, huh? It's getting there, man. It's getting there. It's Labor Day weekend. Today's like Thursday, I guess. I thought I was going to be a little further along. I thought I was going to be a little further along than I am. Coffee got stuck in my throat. Let me put it down. But I'm still pleased with where we're at, you know? This is a collaboration between Steve and I and the museum and some other people, so, you know, it's just not like I have the information here at my shop and I can work obsessively like I usually do and just get things done. This is such an intense process that it takes time to get the information and figure things out, and this has been really difficult. I gotta tell you guys, this is like, has stretched my ability beyond like what I thought I was going to be able to do. But anyways, you can see that I have the upper case done, and I have the drawers built, and you can see that there's kind of like, we really don't know what this is down there. This is where the candle pulls are going to go, and we didn't have the information for these candle pulls, so I just kept building this thing, so I didn't want to just stop, you know. But Steve and I went back down to the RISD Museum on Monday or Tuesday, and we got the information we needed. And what's funny about these candle pulls, it's just not like you can just figure out where these candle pulls are. You need to know the scallops of the doors, you need to know where the point is, because these candle pulls want to be centered on the point of the scallop on the bottom of the door, you know. So Steve had to figure out all the scallops. You know, we went down and took a lot of cool photographs, you know, it was kind of fun. And not only do you have to know where the scallops are on the points, on the pilashes on the outside of the two doors, they're not the same. So you need to figure out the molding, the pilaster, the capital, and all the detail work on the side of the door before you can get that candle pull location. You know, and not only that, you need to draw the whole pediment. So, you know, you need to have the pediment drawn with all the details of the moldings that we want to use, you know, which is really difficult. Him and I looked at a bunch of different examples of this stuff, and you know, it's just really, really difficult to tell without going on like this major journey across the country looking at the finest pieces in the world, you know, in all these museums. So, you know, we did the best we could off the books and drawings and the Chippendale directory, you know. And I think we came up with a really nice design. You know, the dental molding's nice, and then the curves are nice, and I think the proportions are a little bigger than the one that's at RISD, but overall, I like it better personally. And, you know, this is me and Steve's vision of this thing. You know, ultimately, it's all on me, but I hope that it's, you know, I'm going to take the brunt of it, so. But anyways, so, we spent a long time getting all that information. Now we have at least enough of the information where I can go back to my upper case and start doing some work. So, you can see that I have all the drawers here, right? But these drawers I built, you know, just like I told you, I was staying busy. But I didn't glue anything in down here. So, all this is going to come out. You know, you guys must be used to me taking things apart by now, huh? What you think of me ripping out that pigeonhole assembly? Man. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you go back a couple of podcasts and check it out. But anyways, check this out. This whole thing's going to come apart. Now bear with me, I haven't taken it apart in a while. You know, I didn't glue any of this stuff in. Nice. So, here are the dividers. You know, I'm obviously going to need these. And you can see that this piece here, this isn't glued in either. This here, it's in a dado, and this whole thing slides out. And then these pieces here come out. And this is essentially where the candle pull is going to come out from. So this is just a board that I'm going to cut and glue on the side of it so the candle pull has something to ride against. So I'm just going to get to taking this thing apart, cut up some pieces, And when I have this thing in a safer place, because I don't like to work on it when it's on top of the bottom case, it could probably fall down or whatever. So I'm going to take it apart, put it on the bench, start to cut these pieces, and when I get to the next stage, I'm going to let you guys in on how I make the candle poles. They're kind of cool because I get a breadboard in and they get these little tiny Mortising tenons, and it's got a little backer on it to stop it, otherwise you just pull the thing right out of the slot. Whoo! Alright, man, it's really hot in here. I gotta turn the fan back on and get working. That was a good babble. I don't think I swore once. Not bad, huh? Alrighty, what's up? Well, I spent a couple hours making the candle poles and figuring it all out, whatever, so I'm just going to give you a quick little breakdown, alright? Grab the old camera. Camera! See where we are. Now the light's kind of in the way, huh? Hang on, fellas. Hold on. That's a little better, huh? No, not much, but it's a little better. Alrighty. The center of the candle pole is 11 inches off the end of the case, okay? So what I did was that I have some 3/8 stock here that I glued down. And this is also 3/8, and I hand planed it so it's a little narrower. And this is essentially the candle pole. Now you see how it's not going to rack when you pull it out, It's got a little room in there, and this is enough for it to glide into. And on the back of this candle pole, I'm going to have another piece of wood that's just going to act as a stop. So it's basically going to stop right here. So this is what I needed to do before I can glue the inside surface. So this is it, guys. What do you think? Not bad, huh? So now from here, I'm going to put back the pieces that I just took out. I have the bottom to put down. Well, it's the bottom of the drawers, right? And then I'll put these dividers back in, and then I'll be good to go. So I just wanted to show. Sorry. It just gets tough to do this by yourself all the time. So I'm just going to get to putting in that other piece of 3/4, gluing it down, and then putting my drawer dividers back in, and then put the drawers in, and then I can finally fit the drawers. And then these candle poles are going to be pretty sweet. And then from here, I'll be able to put the blocks on the sides for the where the pilasters are going to be for the doors, because the door has a bunch of embellishment on it, and then at the bottom it needs to have a block. So I'll put that block on, and then once I get the block on, I'll be able to put the base molding on, the frame that I made, so I can attach the top case to the bottom case, and then it'll be complete. And then from there, hopefully I'm going to jump on the pediment, and that'll take me probably 3 weeks. If I can get the pediment done and be on the doors by the end of September, I think I'll be okay, because then it's just a matter of finishing the drawers on the bottom, putting the feet on, and making the lid. So, and putting the hardware on. I'm never going to finish, but I'm giving it my best. Alright guys, well, I just want to show you a little bit of stuff. Alright, check it out. Well, I got the block on, and I have this fascia board on. I already did the guts of the candle pole already. So, the next thing I needed to do was make a mortise for the candle pole through the fascia board. That's what I'm calling this front piece, just because I'm a carpenter and I don't know what else to call it. So, fascia board works for me. So, instead of taking this fascia board over to my mortising machine and mortising it out, with a bunch of dimensions, I just figured it would have been easy for me to glue it onto the case with the lines of the shit, what the hell's it called? It's early in the morning still. The candle pole. So, I get the lines of the candle pole already laid out on the bottom of the case, and I transferred it to the front of the fascia board. And all I did, right, check it out. I'm just taking a drill, and I'm just going to mortise that out. Before I glued the fascia board on, I took my marking gauge and I set it to this bottom thickness of the board. This is like 5/8 of an inch, but I set it to that thickness, and then I struck a line right here. You can see it, right? And then I just measured up and I drew another line there. So I just want to show you guys a little quick breakdown on how I'm going to mortise this out. So I'm going to mortise out, I'm going to drill out the other one, and then I'll get a chisel and I'll just start chiseling it out. Now this is where a mortising chisel would be nice, but I don't have any. I've never bought them, you know, so maybe I'll buy them now. But that's it. This will probably take me about an hour or so, and then it will be done. And then I'm going to put this up on top of the lower case, and I'm going to show you guys how it's going to look with the moldings and all that jazz. Well, what's up everybody? How was your Labor Day weekend? Pretty good? Mine was alright. I did a little framing with my boy Trey, and we did a deck, did a little trim. Wasn't bad. And I just kind of hung out. I forced myself to take yesterday off. Today's Tuesday, yesterday was Monday. It's hard for me to take a day off. You know what I mean? Hey, 20 years ago this past weekend, I got into a horrific car accident. Almost killed me. I got my whole face mangled. Half my teeth were all messed up. I ended up having my whole upper palate like cut apart and bolted together with these big titanium plates. My face was all smashed in. That's how I get the nice hooked nose, you know. I got like 60 stitches in my face. I don't know if you can see them. See, I got a big dent right there. I got all these stitches right there. This was peeled back, and I had like 8 or 10 stitches on my bottom eyelid. My brother said he could look down into my head right here and see the back of my eyeball like the Terminator. My boy John was in the car with me. We got hit by a drunk driver. But we got smashed, right? And everybody in the front seat kind of stayed where they were, and the car got taken off from underneath us. And my boy Faz, that's his nickname, Faz, he ended up with a broken neck. His 3rd vertebrae down in 5 places or whatever. He got ejected out of the back of the car, you know, out of the, where the, excuse me, back windshield was. And I went along for the ride, homies. I basically got hit in the head by a truck doing about 90 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour. And we bounced off a tree, hit a couple of parked cars, spun around a few times, you know what I mean? It was nasty. I'm just lucky to be here. But my boy Faz said that he was looking for me in the car, and my head popped out like I was, remember Jaws when the head rolled out of the bottom of the boat underwater? He said that's what I look like. And look at me now, handsome as ever. Imagine that. I really got smashed in right here. I had all sorts of nerve damage on the side of my head, so maybe that's what makes me a little not right. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's pretty nasty. I had a ruptured spleen. I got a big zipper like scar right here in my abdomen. Couldn't walk for a long time. Was in the hospital for close to a month. Yep. Drinking and driving, man. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's why on Labor Day weekend, I just kind of like to hang out and don't go too far and stay off the roads, because I remember, like it was yesterday, boy. Not fun. Trust me, it was not fun. Waking up in the hospital all banged up with a catheter about the size of a pencil. Life doesn't get much worse than that, you know what I mean? But anyways, back to the task at hand. You can see that I already have all the candle pole holes done, right? You can see those pretty well, and they look pretty good. They're not perfect like if I did them on a mortise machine or with a router, and frankly, they're really not supposed to be. You know, I did it by hand. And here is the candles pole. Remember I had this out earlier? So this obviously goes inside here, right? Bada bing, perfect. So the next step is I have to make some haunch down tenons, okay? Now basically all this is for a breadboard end. And you want to do this when it's a long table or, you know, there's many applications for this little gizmo here. And it's pretty cool. So, you can see I have the haunch tenons, you know, this is a 1/4 inch and this is 3/8. So it makes it 5/8 of an inch. And I, you know, since this is only 3/8, my table saw blade is 1/8. So I ran the groove, I ran this 1/4 inch groove right here. See that? Oh yeah, baby. So I ran this groove 1/4 inch deep. And then you can see inside there, it looks a little beat up, right? You see how they get the little mortises in there? You know, hey man, all I did was use this. Drilled a bunch of holes, then I cleaned it out. And that's what makes these chisels right here pretty good, because they're thin, you know. I really like the Lee Nielsen ones, now that I've gotten used to using them. but this one's thin, so it can get inside that little groove. You know what I mean? Right here. See? That goes in there, and the Lee Nielsen one doesn't. So that's what's kind of good about having two sets of chisels, a low angle set and that regular set. But anyways, this is called a breadboard end, and this is really overkill for this little tiny thing. But you know what? Lance made me do it on the first one, so I figured he'd get a kick out of seeing me do it on this one. And the first one was harder because it wasn't this thick. It was like 30 seconds or something, so it was really tiny, and I had to do it with a little router, with the little Dremel saw blit, saw blade, not bit, saw blade. But anyways, this is it. It goes on just like that, everybody. And that's how it fits. It goes on this one. So what I'm going to do, ta-da, sweet, huh? And this is going to keep it flat. And then this gets a little moldy glued on the front of it, and the back is just the back. Although the back gets another little piece that gets screwed on, so it acts as a stop. If you remember inside here, I have those guts that are sitting back about 4 inches. So this should slide out about 6 inches, and that should be plenty to rest a can of beer on when you're hanging out, or a Pepsi or whatever. But it would have meant for a candle, obviously. But anyways, that's a little breakdown. So I'm just going to finish doing this. I have obviously 2 things to do, so 4 sides, and they're pretty boring. Not bad. I got an itch on my. Whew, I had a big itch on my ankle. But anyways, that's it. And then, you know, I'm just going to mess around and do that. And then, you know, I have to put this profile on. Can you see that, everybody? This is the bottom profile that goes here. Oh, looks like I made a mistake, but it's not. Because remember I told you that this has to sit on a 1/2 inch frame. So I need to make a frame that's the same exact shape as the case, because this is going to get glued to the case, to the frame, so this upper case will be able to slide in from the back and just have a couple of screws holding it down. But I just wanted to give you a little breakdown on how to make these candle poles, and not to worry that they're, you know, a little beat up or whatever, because it's supposed to look like that. You know, they work. By the time I sand them over and whatever, they're going to look great, and it gets covered by a piece of molding anyways. All right, so that's that. You can really see how it's starting to come together now, you know? I'm getting pretty psyched. So, that's it, everybody. Alright, I'll talk to you after I finish this and get started on that upper pediment. It's September now, so Lance and Steve are back at school, and we'll be able to really talk about it, get my head wrapped around this thing, and then hopefully before the end of this month, I'll have that pediment done, and I'll be working on the scallop doors. Oh yeah, baby. Alright. 2 and 2. Remember Chuck Woolery? 2 and 2. What's the name of that stupid show? No, not the dating game. I forget the name of that show. Was it the dating game? No, that was a different show, wasn't it? I don't remember. All right. See you later. Well, check it out. All done. I cleaned it up. I glued it, cleaned it, sanded it, did all that stuff, right? Now check this little detail out on the back. You see that? Yeah. It's just a little piece of wood screwed onto the back that sticks out beyond the sides of the candle pole. See? Can you see that? Yep. Now what this does, it acts as a stop. Because remember how I had the guts on the inside of it set back like 4 inches or something? I totally forget what it was now, but that's how it works. You know? And I like to put screws in them just in case something happens, you have to take it out, you'll be able to, you know? So all I have to do is go around the back side, right? Slide that bad boy in. That's it. Not bad, huh? Kind of sweet. I don't know if you can see the other one. Yeah. So essentially, you know, these things will sit back in here flush. And I don't really need to put a stop in the back because there's going to be a front molding on the front of this that's going to stop it. And it's going to have a little pull right here. So now that I have these done, and they work pretty good too. You know, I was afraid that if I made them too tight, the finish would just get scratched off of it. So hopefully there's enough room in here where I'll be able to clean it up and put some finish on it, and it won't get destroyed. So that's it, man. And I think they stick out far enough. I mean, what are you going to do? Have them stick out, 2 feet? You really can't, because the case is only a foot deep. So it's almost in line with the writing surface down here. So I'm pleased with where they're at. And if other people don't like it, they'll just tell me, I guess, But I think that they're well built. They have the little haunch dados or whatever the hell they're called. I mean, tenons. So that's that, man. So that's how you make a candle pull. Alright. Well, that's it, everybody.